This is Princess Sparkles, and she's got a serious predicament. See, Princess Sparkles has been working her paws off at the local tuna factory for years, dreaming of the day she can finally stop chasing deadlines and start chasing butterflies instead. But every time she checks her savings account, reality hits harder than a spray bottle. She's got some kibble stashed away, sure, but is it enough to never work another day in her 9 lives? The answer might shock you more than a vacuum cleaner at 3 in the morning. Princess Sparkles isn't alone in this dilemma. Across the kitten kingdom, millions of felines are asking the same burning question. How much tuna do you really need to achieve complete financial independence? The magic number that lets you tell your boss exactly what you think of those mandatory overtime shifts while you lounge in sunny windowsills for the rest of your days. Today, we're diving deep into the mathematics of financial freedom. We'll explore the legendary 4% rule, uncover the different flavors of financial independence from lean to luxurious, and reveal the exact calculations that separate the working cats from the permanently retired ones. But first, let me blow your mind with some numbers that'll make your whiskers twitch. The average house cat believes they need millions upon millions of tuna cans to retire comfortably. But here's the plot twist that financial advisors don't want you to know. The real number might be far different from what you think, and by the end of this video, you'll have the exact formula to calculate your personal freedom number down to the last sardine. Now, let's start with the foundation of all financial independence calculations. The legendary 4% rule, originally discovered by a wise old tabby named Professor Bengen back in the 1990s. This rule has become the holy grail of retirement planning, and here's why it's absolutely genius. Picture this scenario. You've got a massive pile of tuna cans representing your total savings. The 4% rule says that if you withdraw only 4% of that pile each year, your mountain of tuna will last through even the longest of cat naps. Essentially forever, assuming your investments grow at reasonable rates over time. Let's break this down with simple kitten mathematics. If Princess Sparkles needs 50,000 tuna cans per year to maintain her lifestyle of luxury cat towers and premium salmon dinners, she would multiply that number by 25 to get her magic retirement number. 50,000 times 25 equals 1,250,000 tuna cans total. Why 25, you ask? Because 4% is the same as dividing by 25. It's the mathematical equivalent of saying you need 25 years worth of expenses saved up to retire safely. Once you hit that number, your pile of tuna theoretically generates enough returns to feed you indefinitely without ever touching the principal amount. But here's where things get interesting, and frankly, a little controversial in the financial planning community. Recent studies by the smartest economic cats in the business suggest that 4% might be too conservative in today's market conditions. Some experts now argue for withdrawal rates as high as 4.5 or even 5%, especially if you're willing to be flexible with your spending during lean years. This flexibility could dramatically reduce the amount you need to save. Instead of 25 times your annual expenses, you might only need 20 times if you're comfortable with a 5% withdrawal rate. For Princess Sparkles, that would lower her target from 1,250,000 tuna cans down to just 1 million. That's 250,000 fewer cans she needs to accumulate. However, other financial experts warn that higher withdrawal rates come with increased risk of running out of money during extended market downturns. It's the classic tension between wanting to retire sooner versus maintaining absolute certainty that your money will last. The truth is, your personal withdrawal rate should depend on your specific circumstances, risk tolerance, and backup plans. If you have the ability to reduce expenses during tough times, or you're open to earning some part-time income, you might safely use a higher withdrawal rate. But if you demand absolute certainty and have zero flexibility in your spending, sticking closer to 4% makes sense. Now, not all financial independence looks the same, and this is where the kitten kingdom gets really creative. There are several distinct approaches to achieving financial freedom, each requiring vastly different amounts of tuna. First up is lean independence, perfect for minimalist cats who prefer simple pleasures like cardboard boxes over expensive cat condos. These resourceful felines have mastered the art of living well on very little. They might need only 30 to 40,000 tuna cans per year to cover their expenses, which means their financial independence number could be as low as 750,000 to 1 million cans total. Lean independence isn't about deprivation, though. It's about intentionally choosing a lifestyle that prioritizes freedom over material possessions. These cats often find joy in experiences rather than things. Spending their retirement years exploring new territories, volunteering at local animal shelters, or pursuing creative passions like interpretive yarn dancing. On the opposite end of the spectrum sits Fat Independence, designed for cats who refuse to compromise on their luxurious lifestyle. These felines want the finest imported catnip, heated marble floors, and perhaps even a staff of dedicated belly rub specialists. They might require 150,000 or more tuna cans annually, pushing their financial independence number well above 3 million cans. Fat Independence appeals to cats who've worked extremely demanding careers and want their retirement to reflect their sacrifices. They're not interested in clipping coupons or hunting for sales on scratching posts. They want the peace of mind that comes with having more than enough money to handle any situation that arises. Between these extremes lies traditional independence, the middle ground that most cats find appealing. This approach allows for a comfortable lifestyle without excessive luxury or extreme frugality. Traditional independence typically requires between 1 and 2.5 million tuna cans, depending on your desired annual spending. But perhaps the most intriguing approach is barista independence, named after cats who retire from their primary careers but continue working part-time at coffee shops or other social environments. These clever felines recognize that they don't need to completely replace their full income through investments. Instead, they save enough to cover their basic expenses, then earn the difference through enjoyable, low-stress part-time work. Barista independence might only require 500,000 to 800,000 tuna cans in savings, since the part-time work covers a significant portion of living expenses. This approach appeals to social cats who would feel isolated in complete retirement, or those who find meaning and purpose in their work but want the flexibility to leave if conditions become unpleasant. There's also coast independence, a fascinating concept where cats reach a point where their current savings will grow to support their retirement needs without additional contributions. A young cat who saves aggressively in their 20s might reach coast independence by 30, meaning they can reduce their savings rate dramatically while still staying on track for a traditional retirement age. The mathematics behind coast independence rely on the power of compound growth over long time periods. A cat with 200,000 tuna cans, saved at age 30, could theoretically stop saving entirely and still have over 1,600,000 cans by age 65, assuming 7% annual returns. Each of these approaches requires different strategies, different timelines, and different levels of commitment. The key is honestly assessing your personality, your values, and your long-term goals to determine which path aligns best with your vision of financial freedom. But choosing your path is only half the battle. The real challenge lies in the execution, and this is where most cats stumble harder than a kitten learning to use a litter box. Let me introduce you to Dr. Fluffy, a successful veterinarian who perfectly illustrates how these calculations work in the real world. Dr. Fluffy is 30 years old and earns 300,000 tuna cans annually after taxes. She's decided she wants to achieve traditional independence by age 50, requiring 150,000 cans per year to maintain her desired lifestyle. Using our 25 times rule, she needs 3,750,000 cans total in her investment portfolio. Here's where the mathematics get brutal. Starting from zero savings, Dr. Fluffy must accumulate nearly 4 million cans in just 20 years. Assuming her investments grow at 7% annually, she needs to save approximately 125,000 cans every single year. That represents a mind-boggling 42% savings rate. Think about that for a moment. Dr. Fluffy must live on only 175,000 cans per year, while stashing away the remaining 125,000. This requires discipline that would make a monk jealous and lifestyle choices that most cats would find extreme. But the story gets even more intense when we adjust the variables. If Dr. Fluffy wants to retire at 45 instead of 50, she needs to save 175,000 cans annually. That's a crushing 60% savings rate, leaving her with only 125,000 cans for all her living expenses. Conversely, if she's willing to live on 100,000 cans per year instead of 150,000, her required savings drops to 100,000 cans per year instead of 150,000, 75,000 annually. That's still a substantial 25% savings rate, but far more manageable than the alternatives. These examples reveal the harsh reality of aggressive financial independence strategies. The earlier you want to retire and the more luxuriously you want to live, the more extreme your current lifestyle must become. There's no magical solution or secret shortcut that eliminates this fundamental trade-off. However, many cats discover creative ways to accelerate their journey without completely sacrificing their current quality of life. Some focus intensively on increasing their income through side businesses, advanced certifications, or career changes into higher-paying fields. Others become masters of strategic spending, finding ways to maintain their happiness while dramatically reducing their expenses. The most successful financially independent cats often combine both approaches. They aggressively pursue income growth while simultaneously optimizing their spending patterns. This dual strategy can cut years off their timeline without requiring the extreme lifestyle restrictions that pure savings approaches demand. But here's a tell-you-up critical insight that most financial advisors won't front. Your journey to financial independence isn't just about accumulating a specific number of tuna cans. It's about developing the skills, mindset, and systems that will sustain your wealth once you achieve it. Many cats reach their target number only to discover they lack the psychological preparation for retirement. They've spent decades in achievement mode, measuring their worth through professional success and income growth. Suddenly removing those external validators can trigger identity crises that no amount of money can solve. The wisest financial independence seekers spend as much time preparing mentally and emotionally for retirement as they do accumulating wealth. They develop hobbies, cultivate relationships, explore creative outlets, and experiment with different ways of finding meaning and purpose beyond their careers. Additionally, the path to financial independence forces you to confront your deepest beliefs about money, security, and happiness. You'll discover whether you're motivated by genuine desire for freedom or by fear of financial insecurity. You'll learn whether you can find satisfaction in simple pleasures or whether you need constant acquisition to feel successful. These psychological insights often prove more valuable than the financial independence itself. Cats who complete this journey typically emerge with crystal clear priorities, unshakable confidence in their decision-making abilities, and deep appreciation for what truly matters in their lives. The final piece of this puzzle involves understanding how external factors can dramatically impact your calculations. Economic conditions, inflation rates, tax policies, and market performance all influence whether your carefully crafted plan will succeed in practice. For instance, if inflation averages higher than expected over your retirement years, your purchasing power will erode faster than anticipated. A cat who planned to live comfortably on 50,000 cans per year might find that amount insufficient if prices rise significantly. Similarly, if markets perform poorly during the early years of your retirement, you might need to reduce your withdrawal rate to preserve your principal. This sequence of returns risk represents one of the biggest threats to traditional financial independence strategies. Smart cats build flexibility into their plans by maintaining multiple income streams, developing location independence, and cultivating skills that could generate revenue if needed. They also stress test their calculations, using various economic scenarios to ensure their plans remain viable under different conditions. The journey toward financial independence isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about becoming the type of cat who can create and maintain wealth while living a life aligned with your deepest values and priorities. So there you have it. Princess Sparkles now knows exactly what she needs to escape the tuna factory forever. And more importantly, so do you. Whether you're pursuing lean independence with 750,000 cans or fat independence with over 3 million, the mathematics remain beautifully simple. Calculate your annual expenses, multiply by 20 to 25, depending on your risk tolerance, and you've got your target. But remember, this isn't just about accumulating a pile of tuna cans and hoping for the best. It's about becoming the type of cat who understands money, makes intentional choices, and builds systems that create lasting wealth. The discipline required to save 40 or 50% of your income will transform every aspect of your life, often in ways you never expected. The path won't be easy. Well, there will be moments when you question whether all this sacrifice is worth it, especially when your coworkers are splurging on premium catnip while you're brown bagging your kibble. But every successful financially independent cat will tell you the same thing. The temporary discomfort of aggressive saving pales in comparison to the permanent freedom of never needing a paycheck again. Your financial independence number isn't just a target. It's your ticket to a life where you make decisions based on what excites you, rather than what pays the bills. So grab your calculator, crunch your numbers, and start building the future where you control your time instead of trading it for tuna cans. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll be lounging in those sunny windowsills permanently.